This is Hannibal and Piper here from thehannibaltv.com for a daily wrestling news update on this. It's a long weekend here in Canada. I don't know about the US, but I'll jump right into it. Smackdown only did a 0.4 rating again this week. And of course, as I previously reported, they did announce that Sasha Banks and Naomi have been suspended by WWE on SmackDown. And now I guess their WWE Facebook pages that WWE was running have also been taken down. Apparently, both ladies were close to having their contracts run out, according to some sources. However, they're not going to just be able to jump to AEW if there's still time left on their contracts and they've breached their contracts. So time will tell what ends up happening with them. AEW's CM Punk put out a tweet that didn't mention Banks or Naomi, but he said, quote, "Doesn't matter if your opinion of your coworker is positive or negative, stand with them because they'll do the same thing to you and you'll wish someone helped. Trust me, you're expendable. Together, you're unstoppable," end quote. Well, I do agree with everyone in wrestling right now is pretty much expendable, other than maybe Brock Lesnar, who can still pop a rating, Roman Reigns, they've invested a lot of time in. Other than that, no one really makes any difference. So if you take the side of two people that refuse to just do a script, you're probably going to get fired or punished in some way. So I wouldn't take CM Punk's advice on that, but he's the one that some people are saying is making like $3 million a year. So maybe you should take his advice, but there's no one that really draws in WWE anymore. So they are all expendable. So, and it's not like these two walked out for that valid a reason. They just didn't like the creative. It wasn't like Austin when he walked out from jobbing to Brock Lesnar when Austin was arguably the top star in the company and they wanted him to job to a fairly new guy on Raw in an unadvertised match instead of a hyped pay-per-view match where Austin would have got a huge amount of the gate. So in other CM Punk news, somebody asked me during my live stream on Friday, or they made the comment that CM Punk was the worst UFC fighter ever. I am personally not sure he's the worst UFC fighter ever, because although his second opponent was another unskilled opponent who was 0-1 and never fought again after he fought CM Punk, he was basically a jobber that ended up winning, because Forrest Griffin, who I interviewed right before that second CM Punk fight, told me that UFC was expecting CM Punk to beat that Michael Jackson guy. So it was an upset. And I remember Dana White saying after that fight didn't even belong on Fight Pass, let alone UFC. And of course, Fight Pass is their streaming service that airs MMA from other promotions. So he didn't get knocked out as fast as some other people have, and other people made some good points in the comments of this, that there were people in the earlier UFCs that were highly unskilled, but still, out of 3.3 thousand people that voted in a 24-hour period on this The Hannibal TV poll, 62% of you said yes, CM Punk is the worst fighter in UFC history. And somebody did comment, and this is valid, maybe he's not the worst, but he did have years of training under the very best coaches